19th, 2026 Board of Supervisors meeting. For those who can, please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So at this time, I'd like to announce that we did have a couple executive sessions. I'd like Solicitor Former cover those.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There were two executive sessions held on January 14th of 2026. Those with a quorum of the Board of Supervisors, and those executive sessions dealt with personnel matters. There was one today immediately preceding this meeting, and that was in regard to pending litigation. And that pending litigation is as follows. Sandra Cox versus Lancaster Township BOS, Kessler, Lincoln, and Marcotte in their official capacities. AD number 2024-10238 pending in the Court of Common Pleas in Butler County. David and Heather Cox versus the Zoning Hearing Board of Lancaster Township pending at AD number 2024-10411 pending in Butler County Court of Common Pleas. A recently filed acre complaint with the Attorney General's Office, also filed by Heather Cox, challenging Township Ordinance 2024-121. There was also discussion in regard to the case of David and Heather Cox versus the Zoning Hearing Board of Lancaster Township. Lancaster Township, James and Polly Thatcher. That was in the Commonwealth Court recently disposed of at number 1539 CD 2024.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. We'll move on to visitor and public comment. A couple things I want to go through. Those who have signed in, we do have a lengthy list of 15. Please step to the podium, state your name. I will recognize you, the speaker. Please limit the comment to 5 minutes. We will time you. I will raise my hand when there's 1 minute to wrap up. Listen, public comment is for residents and taxpayers only. The purpose of the public comment is just that, it's public comment. It's not intended to be a question and answer period or a discussion period. Residents, speakers, staff, and the Board of Supervisors should show the appropriate respect for one another. No personal attacks or derogatory comments. Please be professional. If questions are asked, we will address them outside of this meeting and get back to those who've asked the questions. So I appreciate you adhering to the rules. With that, we have the first person is Steve Kriskowski.
Thank you for sending me that, Eric. Sure. The resolution. On that resolution, I kind of like disagree by words of the chain of command, including the supervisors, because in the Pennsylvania Township Handbook, the supervisors should be able to go around and talk to the employees. It states here, although some of the township managers and most use the township secretary for general administration's purpose, in many townships, supervisors play a large role in the administrative activities overseeing the day-to-day operations of the township. That's in the handbook. So they should have to be able to go around. And here's a scenario. If the township manager yells or makes a wrong comment to an employee, is that employee, by the chain of command, going to report back to the township manager? That would be wrong. You quite possibly get a civil lawsuit. Here's another scenario. What if an employee calls and complains to a supervisor about the township manager? Should that supervisor say to the employee that they need to talk to the township manager? This happened with our previous manager. The employee's complaint was against the township manager. That 10-year employee quit. Lucky we didn't get a lawsuit. Another thing I want to bring up is an expense. I know we don't have a person by the name of Jim Miller, okay? But yet, we pay for his hotel room in Hershey, PA. our credit card.
He did not.
It's right here.
He
It
booked
says-
the hotel room for PSATs for me at Hershey he booked it for me.
But we didn't get reimbursed. It was on your credit card. We didn't get reimbursed. I didn't see a reimbursement.
It was for my stay for the CORAS conference last year.
Everybody stayed at the Hilton True Hotel. You got a bill for that too.
I got a bill, he just booked it, that's the only reason it says it on there, but I paid through the township credit card.
But it says payment $529.
Yeah, that was a year ago,
Almost a year ago.
right, for
But the
a
thing is,
conference that I attended.
Where would I find the
Okay,
payment?
I will get that information out of the office for you.
Okay. When we're asking for RTKs, why do we get redacted information for the township credit card?
If it's not part of the information that we requested, it's redacted. But Steve, we can, again, this is not a question and answer.
This is not the only one. I have other ones.
You can ask that question, and if you'd like it to be mentioned at the next meeting, the next manager can mention that for you.
Well, I just hope we get reimbursed. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, next up, we have John Meyer.
I'll pass.
Thanks, John. Next up, we have Darla Hinton.
This signed in, I'm Darla Hampshire, 415 Scott Ridge Road, and then Pat Sterling signed in, and she has about the same thing that I was gonna say, so I'm going
And
to.
so we're encouraged not to say the same thing. We get two for the price of one tonight. My name is Pat Sterling and I live at 121 Red Brush Trail. I'm here to comment on the vote that will take place on resolution, I believe, 2026-2. While I understand that resolutions do not require the same scrutiny as ordinances, in light of transparency, it would be appreciated if all actions that were taken could be open to the public and put on the website. It has come to my attention that the passage of this resolution may have the unintended consequence of limiting communication between the Board of Supervisors and the staff of Lancaster Township. I would hope that this is not the goal of the resolution. Since I have several friends who serve as chairs of their townships, and I listed them on my notes, but my husband said, don't read them. I will just say one is a big, big township, and two are very similar to Lancaster. I called them to ask their thoughts on the possibility of limiting communication. The response from all three was similar. Ridiculous was the most recent comment I received this afternoon from a supervisor who is a retired Lieutenant Army Colonel. She pointed out that there is no need to outline the duties of the supervisors since they are contained in the municipal planning code. There is, of course, a time for a chain of command, and I think we're all aware when that is appropriate. One of these folks with whom I spoke did ask if there is a handbook available to our employees. And that handbook should outline procedures if there are issues or complaints or grievances. I would ask you to imagine a general asking a private in the war how things are going. I bet it's happened thousands of times in our history. I can't imagine that being outlawed. And we thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you, ladies. Okay, next up, we have Jerry Stevenson.
Good evening, everyone. Jerry Stevenson, 553 Yellow Creek Road. When I moved here more than 30 years ago, I was excited to raise my family. And what I was, really have much thought of what went on to governing. As time went on, I felt the desire to give back. I contributed to contribute in some way to the community. I was given that opportunity in 2005 when I was appointed to the Parks Committee. Since then, I served on the Comprehensive Plan Committee and Parks Committee. Through that involvement and through simply living here for decades, I've watched our township grow significantly. From a population of about 2,500 in 2010 to roughly 3,500 in 2024. With that growth came the realization that the township government is far more complex and demanding than I ever imagined. It wasn't until Mary Hess came to serve as our township manager that I began to understand just how much work goes into running the township effectively. Even before she arrived, I had heard about Mary's reputation and accomplishments from friends in neighboring Gillian-Noble boroughs. Knowing her background and experience, I was very pleased when I learned she would be coming to work for us. Under Mary's guidance, I witnessed positive change, thoughtful growth, real potential for our township's future. Her accomplishments are numerous. I just want to highlight a few. Mary actively pursued grants outside funding to help us with the burden of local taxpayers, funding for park improvements, infrastructure projects, planning initiatives, operational upgrades that would otherwise have strained our budget. These are not easy grants to secure. They require experience, persistence, and understanding of how to navigate state and local agencies, and Mary delivered. She created resident-led committees to ensure community members had a voice in the township issues, strengthened transparency and public engagement. She interviewed, vetted, and recommended professional resources to support our boards, commissions, and committees, ensuring that the expertise that was needed to make informed decisions. Mary hired a forward-thinking, detail-oriented road manager who brought a more strategic approach to maintaining and improving our infrastructure. She organized staff and streamlined the township office, making it more efficient and responsive to the residents' needs. She significantly improved township communications by upgrading and organizing the website so that residents could actually find information they were looking for. She expanded communications about meetings, events, and township business so people could stay informed and involved. She also handled countless right-to-know requests, many of which consumed valuable time and resources while continuing to keep the township operating smoothly. Mary brought with her knowledge, expertise, and professional relationships necessary to effectively interface with local and state government officials. Simply put, she knew how to get things done and she got them done. Unfortunately, over the same 2-year period, there has been a faction of residents who have done little more than harass and impede Mary and her staff. I have no doubt this environment played a role in her decision to resign. I am deeply grateful to Mary for her dedication, professionalism, and commitment to our township. At the same time, I am genuinely concerned about our future without her leadership and guidance. Township managers like Mary do not come along easily, and we should take a hard look at how we move forward from here. Thank you for listening and for caring about our township.
Thank you, Jerry. Next up, we have Keith Summers. Next up, we have Randy Adams.
Randy Adams, 155 Stone Church Road. I addressed the situation with Ms. Hess and the township manager. I did not know there was something going on or any problems. I've never seen this many people in a meeting. I've been here 50 years, and this is a it's great. Okay, I believe you're losing one of the greatest assets that's come down the road in a long time. I read this on February the 9th. I couldn't believe something was going to come about this. What are the innuendos and misinformation? I don't know. I don't know what Mary Hester has put up with. Then on Friday or Tuesday, the January the 13th, I read an article that praised her from the Gillian-Noble borough, and they were sad to lose her. Well, we gained her for 2 years. She's fitted in quite well. I believe she's been a good asset to our community, and her leadership rescind any resignation. But I believe that she's going to be a great loss to our community, and her expertise and her credibility goes without question, in my opinion. Most people in this community don't concern themselves much with the township. They live their daily lives. The biggest thing that come down the road lately is the school. That school system has got really big, and this township is getting real big. People have to realize that we need people in our offices, our supervisors, working with our manager. You must be in tune with the manager completely, or otherwise they can't do their job. The school system is building a big extra school. We're becoming Cranberry. I don't know if you people care for that or not, but Jackson Township and Zalino are backing them in. We're next. If you don't like it, then you gotta move, because it's happening. I don't have any corrective action for that, but I believe it's going to happen. I may not be around to see it, that's okay. But you people have to all know that this community is relying on our supervisors and the manager and her staff. And the road department, the police department, all that falls on her, and they have to be answered through her with our township supervisors. I wish her the best. I think she's done a great job. I didn't realize there was such undertones that were going on, but it's unfortunate. She's leaving in our good graces. I hope the people that she goes to, or where she decides to take her next venture, she does well. I wish her the best. Thank you, everybody.
Just before anyone else wants to comment on resolution, 2026-2, I am gonna recommend that the Board of Supervisors table that this evening, because for the first time, I've been able to see the underlying ordinance 107, and I have some concerns on the initial language, and I think the Board of Supervisors needs to review all of it, because there may be some other changes and some clarifications. So I'm gonna recommend that the board table that resolution and not take action on it this evening.
Thank you so much for coming. Moving on through the public speaking, next up, and I'm sorry, I can't read this last name, there's no address. I believe it's Charles, it starts with an S.
Scott?
Sorry.
CUPT. Mr. Chairman, fellow Board of Supervisors, I rise this evening to address Resolution 2602 because I think that, like our solicitor, I have some concerns about the underlying language within that document. And I would like to know who wrote that document.
It was written in 2017.
This resolution was written in 2017.
Oh, this one, no.
This resolution, who wrote this resolution? Do we know? We don't know. It just appeared.
Nobody wants to.
Seriously? Pardon me?
I did not write it.
And you don't know where it came from?
We've tabled that, okay?
I didn't hear a motion to table.
I recommended that it's tabled, and then when it comes to that time of the agenda, there will be a motion to table.
Okay, so let me just ask, whenever I read this resolution, I see a lot more in the resolution than a reaffirmation or a reconfirmation of ordinance number 107. Number one, individual township managers have a sole role of being a voting member of the Board of Supervisors. It states in that resolution. As our elected officials, I contend that our supervisors have a much greater role in the governance of our township than simply voting on items presented to them in the monthly packet from the manager. Also in that resolution, the words chain of command is a buzzword that is mentioned no less than 3 times in this resolution document. Also, wording chain of command is not mentioned or seen anywhere in the original ordinance number 107. Therefore, the use of these words and their implications fundamentally change and edits the ordinance completely. This is not a confirmation or reaffirmation of the ordinance, but a changing of the ordinance. A casual reading of this ordinance resolution strongly changes the role and function of our supervisors and their relationship with the public and the township staff.
What CEO would intentionally limit their statutory rights to speak to their employees? I must ask the supervisors if you all have considered the repercussions of such an action, and why would you do so? In the state of Pennsylvania, it's also my understanding, as I'm sure it is that of our solicitor, that an ordinance can only be changed or amended by rescinding that ordinance and then passing a new one with those changes made in that document. I submit that the role and intent of the township manager is not addressed in this resolution or reconfirmed in the proposed resolution. What I do see in this document, that if it is passed or tabled, greatly restricts and limits the duly elected representation from ever interacting with any of our township employees or officers. The last sentence of the resolution implies that if a township supervisor speaks to an employee or a staff member, that they are being unprofessional and creating an atmosphere of anxiety and concern. I do not know of a supervisor, past or present, that has threatened or harassed an employee causing such anxiety. I would ask the supervisors that they vote no or table this resolution and then vote no on it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, next up we have Joe Plesniak.
Joe Plesniak, 165 Stone Church Road. With the bad weather, first I'd like to thank the road department for doing a good job of clearing the roads. I know that's a process and a lot of people think there goes a lot into it, but there is. The board has to, and the manager has to approve a budget for the road department, have the equipment for the road department, have capable men and women to run that equipment. And I just want to give them thanks for doing a good job of clearing our roads. And I did have Thursday evening, I had to make a trip into Butler. I went through 3 townships, Frankenessing Forward and state roads, and our roads were the best roads. And that just doesn't happen by chance. It comes with planning, whether you're pre-treating the roads or you have the trucks ready to go whenever the weather hits. And that was a quick freeze. And like I said, our roads were the best around. Secondly, I'd like to thank Mary Hess for all the work she's done moving the township forward, managing the position here. I know because I've firsthand experienced the grueling atmosphere that there is, and it's a tough position to fill, and I hope the township can fill that position. And I hope the board takes that into account, that they can find somebody as qualified as Mary and who can stand up to it's a tough job. You have to have thick skins and be able to go home at night and go to sleep. Which sometimes can be a little bit rough at first, but you get used to it somewhat. But anyhow, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Next up we have Tom Beach.
I have 2 quick things I'd like to discuss. First is in reference to resolution 2026-02. A lot of people have covered a lot of issues on this, and I agree with much of what has been addressed. However, I'm looking at additionally at the bottom of page 2 and under therefore be it resolved paragraph or statement. This appears to be addressing only one half of an equation. It states in the duty of the Board of Supervisors to maintain a professional, positive, and accountable environment within the township. This is extremely important to ensure that the township's valued employees are able to perform their duties without unnecessary anxiety or concerns about township's management and chain of command. And we covered a lot of the issues of the chain of command and this. However, I feel that this statement does not address the other side of the equation. The residents of the township should also be protected when interacting with the township staff from improper actions on the part of the staff under cover of ordinance or regulation. The residents should be protected from undue retaliation by the township staff when making inquiries, requesting township ordinances, or regulations. They should be treated with dignity and respect, the same as we are expecting from the township staff, the township residents to the people of the staff. Additionally, I have a question on permits, permitting fees, and permitting process. I understand that all permits get a permit number and are placed in the permit book. Is that correct? I have, from a resident here, a permit that was signed off and approved on July 9th, 2024. It was for a blacktopping or coating or resurfacing of an existing driveway. And on the permit, it indicates that there's currently a gravel asphalt driveway there and that it is being resurfaced or converted from gravel to asphalt. The permit fee for this, according to the schedule on permits, is $75 for resurfacing or upgrading the driveway and $150 for a installation of a new driveway. Since this was an existing driveway, the fee should have been $75. However, the resident was charged $150 for this change. The permit has no permit number listed on it. And on behalf of the resident, I went through the permits for the township over the last 4 years, from 21 through mid of 25. I know that many, driving around the township, I've seen many driveways that have been resurfaced from gravel to asphalt, yet there is not a single permit in the permit book indicating that there's been any driveway improvements in the township. Now, why? I don't know. Maybe we don't do that for driveways, but if they're listed as a permit, they should be. And why was this individual charged double the fee that they should have been charged? These are questions that I don't expect an answer to tonight, but I would like the supervisors to investigate and find out what is going on with the permits in the township and why they're being addressed. And I understand that this individual had come to the township and spoken prior to their requesting this permit, and were told by township management that the fees had gone up. And that's why they were charged $150 instead of $75. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Beach. Next up, we have John Perry.
John Perry, 1022 West Lancaster Road. Hope you're all doing well this evening. I want to address the spread of disinformation that I think fits an agenda that is displeasing, especially because it had direct result of mentioning me. So on the January 6th auditors meeting, in which I watched the recording of, at minute 53 of that meeting, Mary Hess begins to talk about the addition of public utilities coming through the valley following Scholars Run and coming specifically through my property, at which point in time she states very confidently that I have had direct conversation with the developers that are proposing that this is the way that they want to do that. And I'd like to publicly state that that is the falsest statement that has ever been made in this township, because I've never had a conversation with any developer about any public utilities coming through my property. And I believe the statement was made because it fits the agenda of getting the utilities onto the park property by accessing them through my property. So I just wanted to put it out there. I'd love to know exactly where you got your information that made you publicly state at an auditors meeting that I've had conversations with a developer that has never taken place.
I will talk to you privately.
I can't wait. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Perry. Next up, we have Mike Spiker.
Mr. Chairman, is Mike Spiker township resident?
He is not, but he's a taxpayer.
Okay, so it's
forward, he pays taxes.
Any other business? Yes.
No, he's an employee.
But he's not a township resident?
Not a resident.
Taxpayer or resident?
He's
He's a
a
taxpayer
taxpayer.
then, yes.
Good evening, all. Mike Spiker. My question is for you, Mr. Devon. When you met us in the garage there at the shop, you asked if we had a problem with anything, to let you know. To reach out. I do have a problem. I think it needs brought to all the supervisors' attention, not just yours. I'm very disappointed to find out that my name and my job profession was listed on a non-township website. Without my permission, it shouldn't have happened. You should have came to me. I know other employees said, no, you don't have our permission to do that. I would like it removed. If it was a township website, I'm all for it. I've been here for a long time. A lot of people know me. If you would have came to me and said, hey, can we do this? I would have thought about it. But for somebody to tell me, hey, you better check this out. I check it out. I see my name and a job description that's not accurate on a website. I'm a little irritated.
Fair enough. No, it was taken off as soon as they told me to take it off. I came to ask you guys for information.
I understand. If you want information, I'll give you information. I don't want to post it on any other website minus a legit Lancaster Township website, not a non-affiliate website.
It was moved within minutes of Mr. Spiker, or Mr. Sparkler.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Next up, we have Dave Benson. Yes, sir. Next up is Tim McNulty.
Tim McNulty, 135 McNulty Lane. I'm kind of gonna look like an amateur up here compared to everybody else on all the information that they have. I guess I'm here, not that I'm grandpa, laying out the advice, but I do know one thing, that I don't know of any situation where, fighting and implementing and demeaning anybody has any good situation, no matter what. I think everybody here would basically, I would say that everybody here wants the best for this township. I think it's a gift because everybody that's been here, lived here, we have a special place. Okay, this is and we should be thankful to our very core how thankful we are to be living in this area and have, in most cases, what we have offered to us. So it's just a little, advice doesn't have to be taken from me. I'm just trying to lay, a little dampening, that we will get things done better if we all work together. And that's about all I got to say. So, thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Next up, we have Scott Gary.
Scott Gary, I've lived on Middle Lane for about 13 years now. In my time that I've been there, I've seen probably about, I think, 6 managers come and go for Lancaster Township. And the stability of the manager position is what really dictates the direction of the township and how smooth it operates. To my knowledge, the departure of Mary is in relation to some lies that were spread about her and her position and how she was conducting business. And the folks that spread those lies, honestly, should be ashamed. They need to realize that they're literally running their most important asset right out the door of our township. And that vicious cycle of replacing the manager is going to continue if the residents don't stop what they're doing. There need, just like Mr. McNulty just said, there I've also heard that some of this was in regards to repay, and I'll be 100% honest with you. Repay is what you get. You pay for what you get. And if you're going to pay someone $50,000, you're only going to get $50,000 worth of work. And it's not going to be something that's impressive for us to succeed as a municipality. The effort that Mary put in was honestly top notch. It was top notch work, and regardless of your thoughts or your feelings on township direction, it was excellent. With that turmoil that is present between the manager's position and the supervisors, I would like to express my desire that the township supervisors stay out of township management business and just oversee it. Oversee it. I understand that they report to you. I understand that they're your employee. But the fact of the matter is that oversee it and allow them to do their job and report up to you as you wanted them to do it, as you would put them in a position to do it. I've seen it work firsthand. I've seen it. It's absolutely amazing. But there needs to be a division of politics and business that needs to be done in local government. Like I said, I'm not saying don't talk to the staff. I'm saying be there and help them, but leave the management up to the manager and leave the politics up to the politicians. If that doesn't happen, it doesn't allow our manager to do their job and run the municipality the way that they should and the way that they've been taught and educated in the most correct and uniform manner. I personally want to say thank you to Mary for your time, your heartache, your hard decisions, and even under extreme, and even being under extreme scrutiny. Thank you for everything you've done for all of us. And on behalf of me and many of my friends who may not be in the building tonight, thank you.
Thank you, Scott. All right, that draws to conclusion those who have signed in for public comment. We'll move on to the agenda. First, starting with administrative business. Gentlemen, or supervisors, the meeting minutes from the December 20th, 2025 supervisors meeting, January 5th, 2026 reorganizational meeting have been circulated. Is there any discussion around those? Either one of you?
I do have a change. There's a motion in there concerning the position of John Vegas, but I abstained. I did not abstain. That was for John Vegas. Just that correct? It was marked as abstain. The notation above it stated down.
On the vote.
It did not abstain. That was a 4, yay.
It wasn't yet.
Yes.
We will correct that.
Am I still on? Okay, thanks for, and I'll keep drifting off. I'm sorry.
And that's probably why I missed that.
No.
Any other discussion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
I second the motion to approve the minutes as amended.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Moving on, the bills to be paid for December 6th, 2025 through January 9th, 2026. The correct amount is $115,328.74. Any discussion items around this or questions on the bill to pay that was circulated? Supervisor Golden?
I would like, if possible, is Barbara, you the one preparing this? Or is somebody who
It
prepared?
was our outside accounting.
It's our side.
Okay. Is there any chance that we could get this in a more readable format and sooner? I've got it
Get
on.
it as soon as she gets it, a couple days, because we paid those last bills right before.
Is there any chance we can get it like an Excel spreadsheet format, something we can sort, look at? Some of it, I can read the bottom of the eye chart when I go to the doctor. I mean, some of this I couldn't even read. I mean, I had to get banged. Do you agree? I mean, it was, is there any way we can get it to read it?
I can look at that and see what we
Okay.
can figure out.
What do we use for bill pay? Is it Excel or for bookkeeping? QuickBooks, okay. If we can get it in QuickBooks format, that would be really nice or helpful.
I think we can get it to you in an Excel spreadsheet. I can't get it.
Fair enough, yeah. Just something that we can read, sort by, would be appreciated.
Okay.
Thank you. No further discussion.
Did we make a motion?
We have a motion.
All right, I make a motion to approve the bills to be paid, for December 6th, 2025, January 9th, 2026,
Second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously. Moving on to old business, move to approve, resolution 2026-01. This is the 2026 wage schedule as we approved in the December 15th Board of Supervisors meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion to approve resolution 2026-01.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously. Moving on to new business. The first item is resolution 2026. We've already discussed this at length. This will be tabled to review that resolution and ordinance number 107.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I make a motion, we table this?
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously. Motion to approve resolution 2026-3, establishing the township fee schedule. Now, that has been circulated. Any discussion items on that schedule?
I think we should make a motion in a second, open discussion. Is that okay? I'll make that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
I'll give you a second.
I second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Open discussion? Okay. Is there any chance we could get these fee schedules earlier in the future? Or is that something that, when do we have these fee schedules available?
When do we have them?
I just got them on Friday.
So,
Yes. We finished it on Friday. We finished it on Thursday.
Okay.
while we're discussing, to answer your question, ideally, we would like to have these on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, we'll be nice, yes.
And that's our goal.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
we have time to look at these. The fee schedule, if I may ask, staff, has not changed. Is that correct?
No, that's incorrect. It was updated. Yeah, we updated it based on other communities and fees that we needed to raise the rates on. We also cleaned up the subdivisions.
Yeah, we added language, which other townships do the same way, because we did have, the way we had it worded before, the developers or the subdivision reimbursed the township for fees, professional fees. So what we did is we changed it so that they would have to make a deposit up front. And then anything that they, professional fees were deducted from that, if it got too low, then we could go back to them before it ran out to get more money to cover the professional fees. So the residents of the township were not paying for somebody else's subdivision.
Correct.
But that was probably one of the main changes in there.
We updated other things, the alarms, and updated our land development fees. They were a little low. So we went through and just, we looked at multiple other municipalities to make sure that we were on par.
And the alarms were already enacted by resolution, but they were not in our fee schedule.
Correct.
So we added them to the fee schedule, just so we had everything there in one place.
It's a costly thing when alarms go off.
So, motion to approve this
We have
open
a
vote?
motion to approve. All in favor, say
All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously. Other business. Moving on to accept the resignation of Township Manager Mary Hess, which will be effective January 30th of 2026.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
You want to discuss it?
I do, and, you know, I am going to vote in favor of accepting the resignation.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
So I would like to mirror, and I understand what opposing views. In my personal opinion, I've been here for 2 years, and I'm new to townships. I'm new to being a supervisor. I'm learning as we go. But the work that Mary has done, I think, has been phenomenal. And I'm proud to have worked with her. I think she's going to be a loss to the community. But that being said, the move is to accept her resignation, but with some kind words of appreciation.
Can't hear you.
I said she's got a really good job, but I accept her resignation.
Take a vote.
All in favor, say aye.
Say all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously. So with that said, we're seeking a motion to approve the advertising of the position for township manager.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Moving on to other business, number 3, resolution 2026-4, which is the disposition of tax records for 2018.
I'll make a motion.
Second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously. Move to approve resolution 2026-4, which, move to approve resolution 2026-5, disposition of township records.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We do have an agenda revision addition, so we need to make a motion to revise the agenda.
I'll make that motion to revise the agenda to accept the resignation of Sylvia Lack.
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously.
Craig, may I ask that we, request for the motion to advertise the position of?
That was gonna be
That we already
next.
did that.
Need a motion to
Right.
amend the
I'll make
agenda.
a motion to advertise the position of zoning officer,
Zoning and code enforcement.
zoning and code
You
enforcement.
know what, just, I'm sorry, before you do that, you need to do a motion to amend the agenda, period.
Okay.
You guys voted now, you can do the motion to accept the
Okay,
resignation.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda. Can I get?
To now be described to the public.
Sure, the law says that the agenda needs to be posted within 24 hours. If you would like to amend the agenda at the meeting, you need to make a motion to amend the agenda. And the majority needs to vote in favor of that. And then tomorrow, the revised agenda that will have a few new motions, motion to amend the agenda, motion to accept the resignation of the code enforcement officer, Sylvia Wack, and then 3, motion to advertise for the position. Those will be on the new agenda, and this has to be posted tomorrow.
So the code enforcement officer.
Yes.
The zoning, zoning officer.
Zoning and floodplain.
Okay.
So tomorrow,
We will amend it, yes.
And Tony, that's new, that's something that just we were allowed to do as of this year.
oh, I understand. that.
Okay,
I was
okay.
thinking, when you amended the agenda, you didn't describe what you were going to amend it with.
Okay,
So I think that was the park committee, and that, as of now, that agenda hasn't been posted. The amendment, agenda hasn't been posted.
okay, so I'll just,
That's all.
just to get, thanks, so I'm gonna make a motion to amend the agenda for the items gonna be for Sylvia's resignation and for the advertising of the position, but can I get a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye of revising the agenda.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously. Now,
Okay, I'll make a motion to I'll just start over, so to accept Sylvia's resignation, effective, when it's a date, we'll just say.
it's the 31st of January.
Okay, effective 31st of January.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously.
I'll make a motion to advertise the position of zoning officer in floodplain
And code enforcement.
and code enforcement.
I thought Ed was.
And we're have to take some of Ed's duties off of them and have someone that helps with the code enforcement.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously. I would like to just interject here. I want to thank both Mary and Sylvia for your years of public service. Thank you both. Moving on to the agenda, planning, land use, and zoning, building permits. For 2025, for December of 2025, there were 10 building permits issued. 2025 total was 115. Just for reference, in 2024, we had
How many in December were new homes?
Two,
Do we know? Two new homes. Okay. I'm sorry?
Those field stuff.
which is off of White
Okay.
Town.
Thank you.
Greg, can I ask a question, clarification? Mary said that they're changing, Ed's job description. Does that need to carry a motion to change that job description within the township?
Not until it's actually
Until we
done.
act on it. We don't have somebody to fill that role, he'll be continue to do that manually.
But when it does happen, you'll have to carry a
Correct.
vote motion.
That's correct. All right, moving through the agenda reports, solicitor's report, Michelle, anything this evening?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have nothing to add to my written report.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question on this? I know you and I discussed this. Is it possible, I know we expect reports from all township employees, that supervisors can make reports as well on a monthly basis?
We will do that moving forward, yes.
Thank you.
Manager's report, Mary, anything to add this evening?
Just quickly, some things we've been working on, I've been working on the last week. We began our audit. We have already submitted 196 reports to our paid auditors, Mayor Dussel. The auditors will be coming into the office the first week of February. We are finishing up our liquid fuels 965, and that report is required for the AG's office in order to get our liquid fuels funds. We've also started work on the AG 385 for 2025. I've had multiple staff meetings over the course of the last 2 weeks, multiple resident calls. I had our weekly staff meeting with Mason Road to coordinate with the road conditions and multiple accidents that we've had, trees down, etc. I attended the COG meeting, Greg Kessler attended. We discussed EMS, EMA, and combined road projects for 2026. Our focus for this upcoming year, because we spent so much money last year, will be double seal coat for the roads that we paved last year. We did apply for a grant for $965,000 or $985,000 from the DCED to do Scott Ridge Road, Huffnagle, and Dogwood. And we'll be waiting for those, new manager will be waiting for the results of that to determine if we can continue with road projects this year. So the COG worked out well last year, and we continue to work together. We were able to get the prices down and bid these jobs together. It really is a great network. We did some patchwork. I'll talk about Ed's report, and we had a little bit of damage with all the snow, so the crews have been out repairing yards and other areas, berms that got torn up a little bit, but that was it. And if you're okay, I'll
Read the police report, please.
yeah, sure. For the police report, we've got the total for the year. We had 40 false alarm reports during the course of 25. That's costly for our guys to get called out. Fire too, by the way, they get called out to a lot of that. There were 54 dead deer calls, so watch out there, people. And heavy truck detail, 178. We had 196 medicals during the course of the year. 99 calls for just requests for phone, just for information over the phone. And we had 112 warnings during the course of the year. 3 trees down just for police. So 2,211 calls for the year, up from 2,000, I think it was 47 or 24. So calls are going up. And road department, over the course of the last week, we had 9 call-outs. Or over the last month, we had 9 call-outs. We had over 40 hours of overtime. Our great crew, for the most part, trades again for comp time. They don't ask for the overtime dollars. They like to spread out their hours, leave a little bit early, sometimes taking 2 or 3 hours early on a day after they've been out. So we really appreciate their diligence. We've used roughly 5 tons of cold patch to patch our roads, the bad roads. Hopefully we can get them keep paving. Ed met with COG and with PennDOT to estimate the road PennDOT, getting a lot of information for upcoming projects and the work we plan to do next year and in the next 5 years. There was a lot of ground maintenance done. We're still cleaning out dog bags at the park and cleaning up snow and fixing lights and other things. Code enforcement, Ed, Sylvia, John Vegas, and Officer Cornell met at a residence to perform an inspection. It ended up not being as big an issue as the resident who called it in had thought it was. So that was good news. We videoed 4 roads, road for trucking companies for overweight roads. So we have to video before and after road bonds to make sure to check on the damages. So that's all I have for that.
Thank you, Mary, for all those reports. Administrative report, Shirley, anything to add?
I just had 6 quick right to know to do. We just completed them. If they're in the Michelle, they were pretty quick and fixed them. So, also, I'd like to address Mr. Beach on the permits for road, for driveway permits. If we don't know the driveway is being blacktopped or installed, then we have no way of issuing a permit. If, Ed, Ed's moving around and he sees a new driveway being installed, then he'll come to me and ask me if we have a permit on file. I will say there was a change, and I think it's towards the end of 2024, well, sometime in 24, where gravel was not an impervious surface, and the guidelines were changed to where it was an impervious surface. It wasn't changed then. It just, when you, if like the resurfacing is if the driveway was already blacktop, they were gonna dig it up and put like another 2 or 3 inches of blacktop on. An installation, if they had gravel and went to blacktop, that would be a full driveway permit. So that was the distinction between the 2. But other than that, I had right to know the minutes.
Do you post the driveway permits?
I do not post them. And I think I had a new overweight permit for December, and I just did one like literally Saturday. So no Friday.
May I respond to that? Because the permit that I have says on here, and it's an annexation by the township, not the resident, says currently gravel and asphalt. And it is signed by Mary Hess.
What's the address to it? And
661 Scotland Road.
all right, I'll check into
Look
it.
at that.
That was the one I got called on.
Thank you. Shirley, thank you for the report. Moving on to engineers report. Tom, anything to add?
Just that we have 4 plans that have been submitted for review, and I'll have those probably for you the next couple of meetings.
Last but not least, Sylvia.
Again, more plans. The planning commission continues to work on the subdivision ordinance and zone ordinance. There are a lot of forms that need updated and appointed tracking according to need. A lot of our forms that were done, 30 years ago and never changed. So those need change. There's also a lot of other ordinances that, as we're doing the subdivision and zoning ordinance, we're finding need changed as well, and updated. So planning commission and whoever takes my position will be working on this, I'm sure.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Can I add one more thing since I'm on exiting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I just wanted to share just a little bit. First of all, I want to thank everyone. There are a lot of people here. I know there's a lot of people that are upset with me, but there's a lot of others who have been very supportive, and I'm very thankful for. But just to give a little bit of information concerning the position, Lancaster Township grew pretty drastically in the last several years. So in 2004, Ardenwood was recommended and approved by the Planning Commission, and Mike Doven was chairman when they approved Arden. And I think Denny Kerr and John Meyer and Ron Aiken were on the board of supervisors when that was approved, and it was initially approved for more than 800 units. Scenic Ridge was approved and recommended by Planning Commission, and at almost the same time, and it was approved at, I believe, the same meeting with Mr. Kerr, Mr. Meyer, Mr. Aiken, and that was 176 units. Lancaster Village, which was approved, I can't remember, I think you were still on the board whenever the village area down where, the Wrigley property is now was approved, and that was 107 units plus retail. And that had been approved, at that time too, and because of the downturn in the economy, that was right around 2008, 2009, when a lot of businesses went belly up in real estate.
DEP shut that one down there.
So, excuse me?
DEP shut that one down.
So, just so you know, the township has grown by more than 1,200 people in the course of just 8 years, 10 years, since the manager's ordinance was put in place and the first manager was hired. In the time that I got here, there was no zoning officer, there was no code enforcement officer. I was expected to be the road master, I was expected to be all these positions, and a lot of things were ignored. There were years of permits not done, or violations, and things not managed, and paperwork, there's still a trail of paperwork that has to be cleaned up, and efficiencies have to be created. In order for the township to get more grants, you want grants for the parks, you want more road grants, you want all of these things, you have to have the internal structure to get those grants. And hopefully, this group, especially the group that gets so frustrated with the role of the manager, will understand that that role is so important to move certain things forward. Because you have a manager doesn't mean that person is trying to grow the township. Hopefully, your next manager will understand what you said. Keep the rural character. You may not know it, but we were working frantically behind the scenes to protect exactly what you asked for, exactly what you wanted, but also protect the rights of the people that have property. Going forward with your next manager, I hope you give that person time and respect, and I hope the supervisors will give that person the opportunity to do their job and take their position seriously. At times, the Board of Supervisors has to remove themselves from the daily operation in order to be that executive group. And that is very important. The role should be established, and it should be portrayed to the public so they understand, so there's not this constant conflict. And I hope that you will give the person coming into the position the respect that they deserve. For the most part, I felt that from everybody here. I understand the fear. I really do. You think I didn't, but I did. And your Board of Supervisors understand it too. But give them the opportunity, work with them, not against them, and be part of the solution, not the constant upheaval. Go to the manager, ask the manager questions. Doesn't mean you can't come here and ask questions too, but get more information so that you can come to the meeting prepared. You might have even more questions if you actually go to the people that are living it every day. That's all I'm asking you. I really appreciate the opportunity to serve you, and I wish everyone here the best, because Lancaster's fabulous, and we want the best for all of you.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary. There will be no executive session this evening. That wraps up the agenda, so I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Can I pick up one thing?
Sure, John.
I'm not picking. Mary brought it up, and it just brought to mind from last month's meeting. The Harmony EMS.
Yes.
Being that we and all the other municipalities have given them a $500,000 tax. Why can we not have an executive board or an advisory board?
That is happening. That is in the works
Is it?
right now.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. That really upset me that we don't have any say-so in what's going on down
You
there.
do now.
But part of us.
And I was just gonna say, with the call.
We did contribute. We do have a seat at the table.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
Under the cog, we will have that ability.
Now you do.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So that